Hey up everyone, I hope that you're all doing alright today. Welcome back to my channel, and if it's your first time here, welcome. Today we're going to be building a pastel teen apartment. I actually got a build request a while ago. Was a comment that Carmilla left. They often leave really nice comments. They're one of the nicest people in the community. Honestly, love them. So thank you, Car, for the suggestion. They actually commented something like build a modern build or some type of teen apartment. And I thought, you know what, we'll do a teen apartment. But I wanted to do one using the pastel pop kit, just because, I don't know, like I felt like I wanted to do one when the kit came out, but I just didn't really get around to it. And apartments tend to take more planning than the regular builds do, just because I'm not super confident with apartments. As time's gone on, I've got better at them. But yeah, this one, I think it turned out pretty nice. Not an apartment that I'd live in. I think there's a lot going on, there's a lot of colour, but I still like how it turned out. I still think it looks pretty good. And the layout for this apartment was actually from somebody on Instagram called Lava Cake. I followed them for quite a while. They do floor plans every now and again, and yeah, they posted the picture on Instagram and I saw it and I was like, oh my god, I've been meaning to do an apartment. Love the layout of this one, which is the main thing that I struggle with. I often use floor plans by other people to make apartments just because it's not my strong suit at all, and I'd probably spend half the day trying to come up with a floor plan that I wouldn't even be happy with. So quite happy with this one. I think it utilises as much of the space as possible. This one's built in 910 Medina Studios, which is one of the apartments in City Living's world. What is it called? Myshuno. I feel like as I'm getting older, my memory is getting worse. Like I can't even remember the most basic things, but like I feel like a few years ago my memory were like perfect. Like I could remember conversations I'd had very in depth, but now I'm like, what's the name of the world that pack's in, even though The Sims is my special interest and I know far too much about it. Like I literally can't remember out. But yeah, so thank you to Lava Cake for the floor plan and to Carmilla for the suggestion. And yeah, this is it. This is the apartment. Like I said, it is a teen apartment, although I don't know what teenager can afford to live in an apartment by themselves with all this furniture. I mean, the size of the apartment is quite good. I prefer to build in smaller apartments, especially if I'm doing one that's more for a certain type of sim. So an upcoming artist is not going to live in this massive studio apartment that looks amazing. They're probably going to have a bit of a smaller apartment, or a grandma that's retired and she didn't work a lot, she just raised a family and that was that. She's not going to live in a massive apartment, is she? But I feel like this one sort of breaks the boundaries of realism with the amount of stuff that's in it. To be fair, I just wanted to go overboard a little bit with the kit and use as much of it as I could, and I really like how it turned out. I like the layout of it all. I think it all kind of makes sense and it turned out looking quite cute. And for the bathroom, I thought I'd show doing this. I tend to show the bathroom in apartments just because they tend to be a bit shorter. But I had to remove the wall because this is the tallest wall height. I do not like super tall wall heights in builds. I especially don't like them in apartments because you can't see anything. So you have to play with the walls fully down pretty much because you can't see out and it's so stressful. And when it comes to building in a build that's got the tallest wall height, I mean, look at the size of them walls. What is that for? Who needs that? I feel like the size of the apartment's realistic, but then the wall height is just a bit overboard. It's I don't know, it's just a bit, it looks like it would belong in a more expensive apartment, you know what I mean, with the massive walls and high ceilings and whatever. But yeah, I decided to show the bathroom and just kind of show you that obviously I removed the wall so that I could decorate it so you could see what we're up to. I went for a lime green and pink, just matched the City Living bathroom furniture. It's not super pastel, but I think it matches the theme of the apartment. Not something that I've ever done before. I've never built that colourful for a bathroom. With bathrooms I tend to go white, neutral, that sort of thing. Even when I do add colour, it's pops of colour, maybe a plant and a towel and maybe a rug that's got a bit of colour or some artwork. But for the most part, the majority of a bathroom's quite neutral, but I thought, why not go all out? I don't normally build like that, and yeah, so they've got a lime green and pink bathroom. And then for this part of the house, it's obviously just the entryway. The entryway is quite cramped, it's quite narrow. I did change it a little bit later on in the build, but yeah, I quite like how this turned out. It looks quite realistic. I think it's got that very much I can explain it. Like if you've got a small space, I feel like it's decorated well to say that it's kind of like a tiny entranceway. It's only like 2 grid spaces wide. But yeah, I really love that little side table that we got with the pastel pop kit. I think it looks really cute. And that little mirror, I just want to use that in every build. I think it looks so cute, and it just really like fits with the vibe of the kit and everything, and I thought that it suited the build quite well as well. I also used that artwork that's like 3 pictures quite a lot in the build. I think I used it 3 times, maybe more. No, I think it was 3 times. I used it twice in the living room and then once in the bedroom, but obviously in different swatches. I kind of wish we got more with the kit. I understand like you can only get so much in a kit, like it's a smaller pack, limited items, all that sort of stuff, but I would have liked some more artwork. I just think there could have just been a couple more, like maybe even 1 more would have been good with like multiple swatches, but I'm happy with what we got. I mean, essentially if you think about it, you got like 3 times the number of swatches you'd normally get in a painting because there's like 3 pictures, so I guess that's good enough. Also, this apartment, you can't get rid of it, but it has a lock trait where you can get rats and things break down. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but with the kitchen, you know that little metal thing in the corner, that can break and you have to call the landlord out to get it repaired. I think those pipes can break as well, so I didn't want to cover them up. I thought it were like annoying at first. I thought, oh, that's really going to get in my way. I'm going to have to decorate the kitchen around that. It's going to look out of place. But I actually liked it. I thought it made the apartment look more realistic. It kind of matched the whole like idea behind it, the fact that it's a teen apartment, and I imagine like a teenager, they're not going to have a lot of money, so maybe they live in a cheap apartment, but the actual furniture that they've got is obviously not cheap. I don't know, maybe they've like fixed everything up themselves and like got it from secondhand shops. That could be the backstory. They've got everything from like a thrift shop, or they've like renovated stuff. What's it called? Not renovate, is it refurbish? What is it called when you like do up some furniture, you like decorate it, reupholster and redecorate, whatever it's called. I'm sure most of you will know what I'm on about. But I actually decided to alter the kitchen layout a little bit. I just did it the opposite way around because I thought it made more sense having the dining table on the other side, and I weren't exactly sure if a sim could fit between the fridge and the counter to get to that metal thing, because like I said, you have to get the landlord to come out and fix it, and you can't remove it unless you use the tool mod, but even then I think it'd mess up with gameplay. I'm not entirely sure, but I ended up changing around the kitchen like layout. Like I said, I just mirrored it basically, and I changed the kitchen counters. I kind of wanted a more like pale orange colour, but the counters that I used didn't really have a more like pale pastel colour, so I went with the pink instead, and I thought it just looked loads better. And then yeah, I really like how it turned out, and I used the same tiling that I used in the bathroom, the lime one. I was playing it a bit safe with the white brick wallpaper thing from base game, but I thought, do you know what, just go all out, add more colour. And yeah, I really like it. I like how like fun it is. It's like colourful. It kind of reminds me of like a kids TV show, like something about the kit and having a full like room that looks like this, like a full apartment that's all colourful and whatever else. I just really like it. And then for the living room, I wanted to have more of like a open plan, like connected layout. So originally I was going to put the TV in the corner and then have the furniture facing like the corner of the apartment, but I thought that that would break up the flow of the floor plan like too much, because you'd have it all sectioned off, and I wanted it to look more open. I find it's really difficult to explain like what I mean, so hopefully the way that I've explained it makes sense. But yeah, I liked how this looked. The only thing was I could not settle on what sort of colour scheme I wanted. I changed the swatches about 3-4 times. I went through every sort of combination. I wanted it to look like mismatched but also matching at the same time. Like I wanted it to look like the person that lives here had decorated these items by herself, because the chair doesn't really match. Like the legs match, but the actual armchair and then the love seat doesn't really match, you know what I mean? So I wanted it to kind of look like it was thrifted and she'd decorated it, but maybe she'd not got the exact same paint or something like that. Like she'd just gone for a, you know, as close to the theme as possible, if that makes sense. But I really like how it turned out. I think it's like a fun little part of the room, and I think it just looks really cozy. And the flooring that I initially started using, it was just like a base game, like neutral wood colour one, but I ended up using this peachy tone one that's also a base game, but it's a bit more like rustic looking. Don't normally use this swatch. I think this is my least favourite swatch out of all of them, but in this particular build I just thought it matched together like really well. It's got that peach tone to it, and yeah, I'm really happy with how just the entire build turned out. It was a lot of fun putting it together. Apartments don't normally take me too long now that I kind of have got used to doing them, and I tend to use somebody else's floor plan, but this one was really quick. Like, it didn't really take me much time at all. I did want to do some planning, so obviously the recording process is a bit more like streamlined. I'm not flicking through everything as much, because as well, like, I didn't want it to look like awful because the walls are so high. It's kind of tricky to record. You've got to really like zoom in there, and if you zoom out too much, like, the camera will clip through walls and furniture and stuff. So hopefully it don't look too bad, which is why it's a bit more cut up and, you know, like edited together rather than just moving around the room like usual, because I didn't want it to make people like motion sick and stuff. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, also I want to get it out there before the video ends. I have created a Google form that people can fill in if you want to do a build request. So if you want me to build you a house, you can just click on that, fill it in, send it off, and yeah, I'll build whatever gets requested. There's also a section at the bottom of the form for you to put in any like additional information. So it's very basic at the minute, but if there's any more info you'd want me to add to it or more options, then just feel free to let me know in the comments of this video or wherever you can like get a message to me, Twitter, something like that, whatever. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, feel free to leave a like on it. I hope you all have a good weekend, and I'll see you in my next video, hopefully. Bye.